You're crazy! This is too... Oh, the mango. I'm here for the mango. Fine, how are you? I want to do the blue bear.
Right. I'll just let you know, the orange and the raspberry are going to be frozen. I'd give them about 40 minutes before you eat it.
Yes! Okay, I'm a little too excited, but it's for good reasons. Yo, I have been wanting to come to this place, I think, for years. I watch these mukbangs online. Y'all, they look even more perfect in person. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Are y'all kidding me? This little bear thing is sparkling for some reason. Why has it got sparkling stuff on it? Oh, that's my filter. Oh, okay. Never mind. Ooh-wee. What? Yes. Hey, y'all.
Remy Ma just put it in a verse and made it everybody's business. And trust me, once you hear what she said, you're going to understand why the internet completely lost it. So here's what went down. Remy made it crystal clear with that message. Papoose, come pick up your stuff. That's exactly who she was talking to when she dropped that line in her latest verse alongside French Montana and Max B. In other words, those were the same bags of clothes Remy had already revealed were packed up and sitting there waiting for Papoose to come collect. And remember, this all goes back to the moment she first put their whole relationship situation on blast. Now here we are in June 2026, and somehow those clothes are still there. And that's where things start getting really strange. Because didn't Papoose himself go on Vlad TV and talk about owning multiple properties? So you're telling me a man with several places to stay still hasn't found a single moment to come grab his own belongings? It's not like Remy threw everything in the yard or left it rotting in a trash pile. She actually took the time to pack everything up properly. And whether those clothes are still neatly folded today, nobody can say for sure. But one thing is obvious. They're still sitting in bags waiting to be picked up. Your belongings are packed. Your properties are ready. Yet somehow everything is still sitting at Remy's house. And honestly, none of this adds up. Why haven't you gone to get your clothes? Now look, I get that Remy might be trying to keep things civil because at the end of the day, they share a daughter together. And that changes things. But even with all that considered, this situation is still raising eyebrows because the longer those bags sit there, the more questions people are going to keep asking. Maybe that's exactly why she hasn't just thrown everything away. But the fact that she keeps letting the world know those bags are still sitting there raises one massive question. At what point are you actually going to come get them? Or do you just not want them anymore? And if that's the case, then why not tell somebody to donate them, toss them out, or do literally anything with them? Because we're talking about a grown man here. This isn't some heartbroken teenager or a guy in his early 20s who doesn't know how to move on from a breakup. At some point, you have to handle your business and close the chapter. And if you don't want to close it, at least make a decision. But leaving your belongings sitting at Remy's house all this time is just bizarre. And when you really think about it, it's kind of similar to the fact that he's still married and still carrying that tattoo. It almost feels like letting go completely has become a real problem for this man. Yet at the same time, the internet is being sold this beautiful love story with Clarissa. We're supposed to believe she's the best thing that ever happened to him. Okay, fair enough. But if that's really true, then why are your belongings still sitting at your wife's house? Somebody please make that make sense. This whole situation is wild. It's honestly ridiculous when you stop and actually think about it. Now with that said, something else caught attention and it needs to be talked about. This one comes from Punch Drunk Boxing, who pointed out a very interesting moment from a video Papoose posted. Whether it came from a live stream or a regular upload is not entirely clear because Papoose has been posting constantly lately, especially with the Knicks making a deep playoff run. Basketball has basically taken over his entire page. But somewhere in all of that, it looks like he responded to a comment or got into a back and forth with a fan, and Punch Drunk immediately picked up on it. Shout out to him though, because he caught something a lot of people completely missed. His channel is entertaining, and he has no problem calling out both Clarissa and Papoose when he sees something worth discussing. So let's get into it. Remy Ma's husband apparently thinks Clarissa Shields is too young for him. Sounds crazy, right? But wait until you hear the example he used to expose himself without even realizing it. We already know Clarissa is around 31 or 32 years old. Now pay close attention to how this man talks about someone who is 38. This all happened while he was going back and forth with another Knicks fan online. He asked the guy how old he was. The guy said 38, and Papoose responded by telling him he's too young, way too young, still smells like baby formula. He said he was joking. Okay, fine. But here's where Punch Drunk's point hits hard. If Papoose looks at a 38-year-old man and calls him a kid, then what exactly does that say about Clarissa, who is several years younger than that? Think about it. By his own words, by his own logic, he just accidentally told on himself. How do you look at Clarissa as your equal, as someone operating on your level of maturity, when you consider a 38-year-old to still be too young? That's the part that really stands out. That's the part you can't just brush past. And this is the thing about jumping online constantly and speaking freely without thinking. The more they talk, the more they reveal things they never intended to reveal. It's becoming impossible to ignore at this point. Papoose probably didn't even realize what he was saying while he was saying it, but the internet caught it. And once the internet catches something, there's no taking it back. And not only that, but that person is actually much closer to 40 than Clarissa ever is. So what does that really say about how this man views someone in their early 30s? Is it because he himself is approaching 50? Maybe that's genuinely how he sees the world. Maybe in his mind, people in their 30s are still young enough to be guided, influenced, and controlled. And that's exactly why some people believe he feels so comfortable doing what he's doing with Clarissa. Controlling the narrative, making sure certain voices get removed from around her, creating distance between her and anyone who might challenge his influence or offer a different perspective. Whether people agree with that take or not, that's the conversation his own comments are fueling. He basically exposed that mindset himself without anyone having to dig for it. And before anyone says that's different, because he was talking about a man and not a woman, not really. Age is age. If you're comfortable calling a grown 38-year-old man young, that tells people everything about how you view younger adults in general. Everything. That's exactly why so many people keep bringing up what Remy was trying to warn Clarissa about. From where they stand, she wasn't attacking her. She was trying to hand her information before everything got messy. Whether Clarissa wanted to hear it or not is a completely different conversation. Meanwhile, Clarissa might be sitting there thinking he's older, wiser, and more experienced. But comments like that one leave people questioning what his real intentions actually are. And once people start questioning intentions, the whole story starts looking very different. And to me, that moment exposed far more than he ever intended to show. But here's the thing. Clarissa probably isn't going to care right now. And honestly, that's not even surprising. Most people don't care when they're fully invested emotionally. They ignore the warnings, brush off the criticism, and keep pushing forward like nothing is wrong. It's usually not until everything falls apart that reality finally hits. That's when the heartbreak kicks in. That's when the confusion takes over. That's when people say they can't focus, can't think straight, and can't figure out how to move forward. The signs were almost always there long before the damage happened. That's exactly why paying attention matters. Because whether people want to admit it or not, his comment suggests that he genuinely believes she doesn't know any better. That's the impression a lot of viewers walked away with. And once people start noticing patterns like that, they begin connecting dots that weren't obvious before, and those dots start painting a very clear picture. Now switching gears for a second, because there's something else involving Clarissa that needs to be addressed. In the last video, there was mention of how she appeared to have put on some weight recently, and the vacation content, restaurant visits, desserts, and non-stop indulgence she's been flooding her page with was pointed to as the reason people started noticing. After going back through the clips, the exact video was actually found. It was the one where she was eating those oversized fruit desserts stuffed with what looked like ice cream and every sweet thing imaginable. Just the amount alone that was on display gave people a very clear idea of why viewers have been making comments about her appearance lately.
You're crazy! This is too... Oh, the mango. I'm here for the mango. Fine, how are you? I want to do the blue bear.
Right. I'll just let you know, the orange and the raspberry are going to be frozen. I'd give them about 40 minutes before you eat it.
Yes! Okay, I'm a little too excited, but it's for good reasons. Yo, I have been wanting to come to this place, I think, for years. I watch these mukbangs online. Y'all, they look even more perfect in person. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Are y'all kidding me? This little bear thing is sparkling for some reason. Why has it got sparkling stuff on it? Oh, that's my filter. Oh, okay. Never mind. Ooh-wee. What? Yes. Hey, y'all.
So you're
Wait,
telling
she
me
bought all of that food for herself? Every single item was for her alone, and she even labeled the whole thing a mukbang. Now, to be fair, this wasn't filmed recently. This was from about a month ago when she was out in Los Angeles. But the clip still gives people a very clear look at her eating habits. And honestly, that was a massive amount of food for one person. There is actual footage of her trying every single dessert, but nobody needs to sit through the entire eating session to understand what happened. What we do know is that she dug into all of them. Whether she finished every last bite can't be confirmed, but she definitely sampled each one. And that was the whole point of ordering so many in the first place, and not just any relationship either. A relationship with a man who is still legally married to somebody else. That's what makes the criticism hit so much harder, because she might look at him and see protection, guidance, and wisdom. But after everything his own mouth has revealed, a lot of people on the outside are seeing something else entirely. They're seeing a man who looks at women her age as young, easy to shape, and easier to control. And that changes everything. And whether that take is fair or not, that's the conversation his own words created. Nobody put those words in his mouth. He said what he said publicly, and people heard exactly what they heard. That's why so many viewers have walked away believing he doesn't actually see Clarissa as the mature, accomplished, powerful woman she believes herself to be. Instead, they think he sees someone who is easier to shape, easier to guide, and easier to keep in line. That's the perception his own comments built, and he has nobody to blame for that but himself. But that's just one way of looking at it, and at the end of the day, you guys might see it completely differently. So now it's your turn. What do you actually think about everything that's been laid out here? What's your honest read on this whole situation? And more importantly, what do you make of the fact that Papoose still has not gone to pick up those clothes? Because at this point, that might genuinely be the strangest part of this entire story. It's not complicated. If you want them, go get them. If you don't want them anymore, then donate them, give them away, or just throw them out. Do something. But leaving your belongings sitting at your wife's house year after year while you're out here telling the world about a new relationship is just bizarre. The longer this goes on, the less sense it makes. And the less sense it makes, the more questions people are going to keep asking. And trust me, they are not done asking.